For the Wii U, as a matter of fact. And it's the last Jeopardy segment for Daniel's birthday special. But is this the last segment of Daniel's birthday special? I'm happy to say it is not. It is not the last segment of Daniel's birthday special because we still have a few more segments to go. Well, let's see how we do in this game. We won $50,000 on the PS3 version of Jeopardy. What's the Nintendo Wii U version gonna have in store for us?
This is Jeopardy! Please welcome our contestants. Player 1. Player 2. Player 3. And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Rivette.
Let's do this.
Thank you, Johnny Gilbert, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Let's take you right now into the Jeopardy round. Clues are worth $200 to $1,000 in these categories. MapQuest, 1907. Fish, bird, or mammal. Mobilized. The Tony Awards. And literature. Player 1, you start us off. The Skate. Let's hear it, Player 1. Good. Player Tarsier. It's Player 1. Sorry. That's wrong. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Player 2. That is correct. Player 2, you start us off. The Honey Creeper. Let's hear it, Player 1. Correct. You've got some money again. Player 1. The Bongo. Yes, Player 1. Right. So the Cichlid. Player 1. Good. Player 1, back to you. The ban on this D.H. Lawrence book was lifted in 1959 in the United States. It's Player 1. That is correct. Federico Garcia Lorca wrote a famous one of these for the death of a bullfighter. Let's hear it, Player 1. Right you are. It's the Daily Double. You are in first place. Here is your clue. Whitman's When Lilacs Last in the Dooryard Bloomed was an elegy to him. That puts you in
Yay!
Player Polonius tells this character, "This above all, to thine own self be true." It's Player 1. That's correct. This woman was the subject of Petrarch's Canzoniere. Yes, Player 1? That's correct. Player 1, back to you for our next selection. To visit Sensoji Temple in this capital, cross Komagata Bridge, turn right, and walk north on the Nakamise Dori. Yes, Player 1? That is correct. The drive from Denmark to Malmö in this country includes a 5-mile stretch across the Øresund Bridge. Okay, Player 1. That's right. Way to go. From Paris's Royal Saint-Honoré Hotel, walk a half-mile down Rue Saint-Honoré, turn right, and walk into its glass pyramid. Player 1. Hey, correct. Please, to visit San Marino, take a winding road up Mount Titano, a short drive from Rimini in this country. It's player 1. Good. Player 1. From Ulaanbaatar, go straight south to Wuhai, flip a left, and go about 500 miles to reach this world capital. It's player 1. Right you are. Player 1. A mechanical device used to indicate musical tempo. Player 1. Good for you. Player 1. Agaric is one of these spore-producing fungi of the Basidiomycetes class. Player 1. Right you are. It can be a powerful person in entertainment or a member of a Muslim dynasty that once ruled India. It's player 1. That's correct. Someone who moves from relationship to relationship is a serial one. Yes, player 1. That is correct. This large tube-shaped pasta is often stuffed with cheese and baked with a tomato sauce. Yes, player 1. That is correct. You get to pick. Florin Ziegfeld produced his first of these extravaganzas in 1907 and would continue them for the next 24 years. Yes, player 1. Right. Player 1 works like Gunga Din. He became the first Brit awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature. Let's hear it, player 1. Right you are. So with this man as president, the government budget was $579 million, and unemployment stood at 2.8%. Okay, player 1. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? We're talking about Teddy Roosevelt. Please pick again, player 1. Charles Curtis, Republican, Kansas, became the first Native American to serve as one of these. It's player 1. No. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Here's what we wanted. Senator. Player 1. More than 40 nations attended the Second International Disc Conference in The Hague. Okay, player 1. Hey, correct. You again, player 1. The front of the Tony Award depicts these ancient twin emblems of comedy and tragedy. It's player 1. Yes. Don't cry for Mandy Patinkin. He won a 1980 Tony Award for this musical. Okay, player 1. That is correct. Player Ian 1. McKellen won a Tony in 1981 for playing this rival of Mozart in Amadeus. Yes, player 1. Sorry. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Let's hear it, player 3. I'm sorry. That's incorrect. Anyone else? It's player 2. Good for you. Okay, let's get back into this. Player 2, you make the next selection as we can. From 1997 to 2010, the Tony Award ceremony was held at this nearly 6,000-seat hall. Okay, player 1. Good for you. And the last clue for $1,000. She's the dynamic actress-producer for whom the Tony Awards were named. Yes, player 1? That's right, way to go. The Double Jeopardy round will begin right after this. Clues are worth $400 to $2,000 in these categories. Leaf me. B is for Bard. Quotable movies. The Civil War. It's all good. And what can Brown do for you? Okay, let's get back into this. Player 3, you make the next selection. It's the car battery terminal with a plus sign. Let's hear it, player 1. Correct. Player 1. It can mean far better than average, or not yet settled, like an unpaid debt. Player 1. Right you are. The bird Ardea herodias isn't just any blue heron, it's this blue heron. It's player 1. Sorry, that's wrong. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Here's the correct response. Great. You again, player 1. Answer. The first of the 2 daily doubles. You are in the lead right now. Please enter your wager. Okay, here is the clue. As an adjective, it means very impressive. As a noun, it's a lavish production. You have maintained your lead.
Here we go.
Player 1. Marvin Hagler was Marvelous Marvin. Tom Seaver was nicknamed Tom This. Yes, player 1? Correct. Player 1, you pick again. Gassy surname of Sir Toby in Twelfth Night. Player 1? Right. Player 1, this ghostly guy is described by the witches as lesser than Macbeth and greater. Player 1? Sorry, that's wrong. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Yes, player 2. That's it. Player 2, you start us off. Some consider the Hannibal variety of these made from 100% Havana seed leaf the world's finest. It's player 1. Good for you. Player Bags of this leafy vegetable from Natural Selection Foods were at the center of a September 2006 E. coli outbreak. Yes, player 1? That is correct. So, like humans, leaves have an exterior epidermis and an interior arrangement of these vascular tissues. Okay, player 1. Hey, you're right. So the Macrocystis genus of this seaweed can grow fronds up to 200 feet long. Okay, player 1. That's it.
Player
This
one.
fragrant leaf of the laurel tree is sold commercially as a seasoning. It's player one. Right you are. You again, player one. His downfall was at Philippi. Let's hear it, player one. Nope. Oh, wait. Anyone else? Here's the response we were looking for. Brutus. At the end of Much Ado About Nothing, Benedict quiets this love of his with a kiss. Let's hear it, player one. Yep. So in The Taming of the Shrew, she's courted by 3 men. Player one. Correct. Player one. Pick again. And here's Sarah.
At the 1863 Battle of Gettysburg, the Union's center line at Cemetery Ridge was hit by 12,000 Confederates, who suffered 42% casualties in the skirmish known as This Man's Charge.
It's player one. Sorry, that's wrong. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Okay, player three. Oh, sorry. That's incorrect. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Player two. Yes. Where do we begin? Player two. This national battlefield in Sharpsburg, Maryland, commemorates the bloodiest single day of the Civil War. Okay, player one. Correct. Player Sherman's campaign for this city took 3 months in 1864. Okay, player one. Any other takers? The correct response is Atlanta. Player one. In 1862, Confederate General Beauregard wanted Island Number 10 in this body of water held at all costs. Didn't happen. It's player one. Good for you. The hopeless mud march in a Virginia downpour ended Burnside's command of the force called This Army. Player one? No. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Here's the correct response. Army of the Potomac. Player one, choose again. My father assured him that either his signature or his brains would be on the contract. Yes, player one? Yeah. Hey, you're right. There was a Stonehenge monument on the stage that was in danger of being crushed by a dwarf. Player one? Hey, you're right. Sorry. The second daily double. You are in the lead right now. Okay, here is the clue. Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelled of elderberries. That puts you even further ahead. Player one. Can't handle the truth. Yes, player one? Hey, you're right. You Spartans, enjoy your breakfast, for tonight we dine in hell. It's player one. Right. Player one. He was Britain's Prime Minister from 2007 to 2010. It's player one. Sorry, that's wrong. Anyone else? Here's what we were looking for. Gordon Brown. Select on December 2nd, 1859, this militant abolitionist was hanged for treason. Let's hear it, player one. Yep. With his 12,313th rushing yard, he passed Jim Brown on the all-time NFL rushing list in 1984. Let's hear it, player one. That is correct. Player one. The GK in the name of this Father Brown creator stood for Gilbert Keith. Player one. That's correct. And now the $2,000 clue. Harold Brown was this president's Secretary of Defense. Let's hear it, player one.
All right.
Sorry, looks like you will not be continuing on to Final Jeopardy. Final Jeopardy still to come, and here's the category. U.S. Presidents. So, what's your wager? Now, let's reveal the Final Jeopardy clue. He's the only U.S. president who never lived in the District of Columbia. What did you put as your response? And that will set you back. Let's see your response. Sorry, that incorrect response will...
I still got Daniel $57,600. That's not bad.
Here's what we were looking for. George Washington.
Oh, well.
Player one, congratulations to you. We'll see you all next time.
And I'll see you all for that next segment, everybody.